Welcome to Around the House. I'm your host, Ronn James, Real Estate's Most Wanted. Hey, we've talked about home inspections, and now we're going to talk about energy audits and the assessments necessary for you to qualify for a couple of different grants. One that is federal, which is the Eco Energy Grant, which is about $5,000. If you happen to live in Ontario, they actually match it dollar for dollar for another $5,000. There's also some tax relief if you've actually had any renovations done in 2009, and you can get some information about that because you might be eligible to save as much as $1,350 on renovations that you've done. Our guest today is Don McLeod from Global Property Inspections. We're going to go in and meet Don right now, so follow me in. Okay, well, welcome in. We're actually going to measure this home's energy efficiency with Don McLeod from Global Property Inspections. Hi, Don. Thanks for coming.
Ron, how are you today?
Well, so tell me a little bit about energy audits, assessments, evaluations. It's got a couple of different names. Yeah. What is it?
Well, there's a lot of confusion out there, Ron. So what we really want to achieve today is we want to find out the energy efficiency of this home. We're going to do that. We're going to take a number of steps to do that. What I like to do, Ron, when I arrive is just sit down with the homeowner for a few minutes and find out if they have any knowledge about the program and what their expectations are of what we're going to do here today. And we're going to go over the paperwork provided to them by the Ministry of Natural Resources. From there, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to do some measuring outside, and I'm going to take pictures of all the exterior elevations of your house. Right? I'm also going to do a window count in case one of the things you're interested in doing is replacing windows. I'm also going to do a door count in case you might be interested in replacing some doors. The other thing I'm going to do outside is I'm going to take exterior measurements of your house.
Wow. How come we need that?
Well, and that's a good question. I use those measurements to calculate the interior volume of your house, or the heated envelope, let's say, of your home. It's a lot easier than taking measurements of each individual room. I can get an outside measurement and calculate it from there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've told us the steps. Can we get started with some of those?
Sure, we can. We can start outside, or there's some other steps that we haven't yet talked about. I mean, I also need to measure the insulation in your attic and let you know if it's properly insulated or if you should be considering more insulation. I also need to have a look at that furnace of yours downstairs. And, that. And that old water heater maybe too. Yeah. So we're going to look at those as well in case maybe down the road you should be considering retrofitting or upgrading those and taking advantage of some of the grant money that's available for that.
Wow, it sounds like we've got quite a list. Let's get to that list.
Yes.
Okay, Don, it looks like you're setting up an ice fishing hut here. I'm not quite sure what we're doing, so fill me in.
Okay, let me just explain a little bit to you here, Ron. What I'm going to do here with this is I'm going to place this frame and this cover on the frame under your front doorway here.
Okay.
Okay. So I want to make a perfect seal with it. And then this opening that's going to be left behind here is where I'm going to install that big fan that I brought in that you saw already.
Okay, so this is giving you a calibration of the loss of airflow in my home, or?
Yeah. Basically, what I want to accomplish with this once it's all installed is I want to depressurize this house.
Okay.
So I want to create a negative air pressure in here as compared to the air pressure outside.
Right.
Okay. When we do that with the fan, what it does is, as you're probably aware, when we have negative pressure, air naturally will rush in to replace what we've taken out.
Right.
As that air is rushing in, you and I will be able to do a walk around your house and find the air leakage spots that you have in your house.
Wow.
In the heated envelope.
I'm afraid of that part. I'll tell you that for sure. Okay, Don, so it kind of looks like we've got some, device from Mars here. What is the purpose of this whole contraption at this point? What are we looking to achieve with this?
So now that I'm set up, Ron, what I want to achieve with this is I want to depressurize your house. And so we want to create a negative air pressure within your house. And when we do that, as the fan's running and we take the air out of the house, exterior air will try to rush back in and replace what we've removed. Basically, is how that works. And as we do a walk around through the house, you'll be able to actually see or feel the air coming in through the different cracks that you'll have in, maybe it's around the window frames or the door frames or the attic hatch or exterior wall plugs always leak. So we'll be able to find a number of different areas that are inexpensive to fix, really, and will reduce your home energy bills.
Now, you had mentioned as well something about the exchange of air, or how air turns over in a house. How important is that?
Yeah, and that's a very important point, and it's something that a lot of us don't think about. The Ministry of Natural Resources recommends that for a healthy living environment, you want the air within your home to change between 2 and 3.5 times per hour.
Wow.
Yeah. So historically, an older home that's more leaky will have a lot higher air change rate, which is not necessarily healthier. And a lot of the new homes that are built today are built so tight that maybe they're getting half of the air in the house changed per hour. And it's a very unhealthy living environment is what it comes down to. These homes should, if you're in an environment like that, you should seriously consider installation of something like an HRV, which will give you a continuous supply of fresh air within the home. And the other thing this fan will give us, which is one of the things that I think is really neat, it'll calculate all the small little cracks and crevices and air leaks, and it will take them in the software and put them all together. So we come up with a number that's called an equalized leakage area, an equivalent leakage area. And that's the size of the hole in the side of your wall if you took all the little leaks and put them together. So on an old leaky house, you've got a big monster hole. And a homeowner, they can visualize that. When you say, okay, you got a 2-foot square a hole in the side of your wall here. If we took all the little leaks in your house and put them together, and they're stunned. They're really stunned when they hear that.
So let's go look at a leak and see what that looks like.
Okay, I'm just going to fire up the fan, and that'll give us the air movement inwards that we're going to need, and we'll be able to do that.
Okay, Don, so how long is this energy audit?
The whole process should be around 2 hours, from the minute I arrive till we get all the information we want from our fan testing and then walking through and looking for air leakage. It's about 2 hours.
Okay, now do you only come once, or is it necessary for you to be back?
No, and that's a great question. We're here for 2 evaluations. The first one's a lot shorter. It's about an hour. Cost-wise, your first evaluation, a little bit of variance out there in the marketplace. I'm $350 for the first visit. Of that, the provincial government will send you back $150.
Wow.
And then your second visit, which is much shorter, it's only about an hour, is $150.
Okay.
Yeah, and then of course the GST on those.
So what is that?
That, Ron, is a smoke pencil, and it's one of the tools that we use to help us locate air leakage. And I'm just going to pull this pin here and get a little bit of smoke coming out of it. And we're just going to test one of your windows here, Ron, and see if you've got any air leakage in this house. And I think that we can see quite clearly how fast that smoke is moving away there, how much air leakage you've got here. So this would be the kind of window, Ron, that you need to do a little bit of air sealing at.
That for Energy Audits, I'm Ron James, Real Estate's Most Wanted, and you've been watching Around the House.